Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of the Smoke Room. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the news version earlier, then you can go to their Patreon, where it's $3 a month for this and other games. So, on the last Let's Play, seemed like it was just us in that place. I mean, Ben is presumed dead and at the bottom of the little underground lake. Nate has a hole in the back of his head, and the spider creature went into the water. So we had two choices. One, to try and excavate our way out of the tunnel, or B, to go deeper. And we had a choice of go deeper, or go deeper. So I picked the second, go deeper, and you went deeper. And there could be children in these mines, because the eyes, I know that there's children at some point, if, like, most of the things that happen between different routes are the same. Not sure if the rat guy's dead, but, from William's route. But, yeah. Also, there's this weird intricate tunnel from the Hendrix's house to parts of the mine, which, Yao doesn't think current Hendrix number 3 has any idea of. So, reset face. And continue. It looks very big and very old, the bridge. But it sways with whatever's blowing against it in the cavern. Nick stops and kneels on the ground. Me and Yao watch him as he tries to pluck at a cord. Is everything okay? The badger stands and nods. This is safe to cross, at least on this end of the bridge. Is it dangerous as it is it as dangerous as it gets, Yao? Yao looks up to the other side. I follow his gaze. For a second, I thought I saw a child. Maybe a coyote or a fox, holding something long, like a stick. But then, I don't see anything. I wonder for a moment if I've just seen a genuine ghost. Well, let's just roll back a minute. Nope, don't see nothing. The bridge is not what is dangerous. He starts walking. Then he looks back at us. It is what waits on the other side. He's so quick that it feels like he's covered half the distance of the bridge before I begin. I follow him, gasping a little when it sways beneath my feet. What does he mean when he says on the other side is more dangerous? The Bible doesn't mention ghosts. Yeah, I don't know. For the living know that they will die, but the dead know nothing. They have no further reward, and even their name is forgotten. Their love, their hate, their jealousy have long since vanished. Never again will they have a part of anything that happens under the sun. That would mean that there could be no ghosts. But there could be devils. I told ya. That would mean there's only demons trying to deceive people. My old neighbor believed in ghosts, though. She said that there were people in between their journey from this world to the other. Were people God would let come back down to earth to warn others about dangers to their souls. Cynthia believes in ghosts too, even though she did not believe in the God or the Bible. Sorry, we the gods. It has been a long day. She'd say that when a person died, all the bad stuff they did in life would come out of their body and hang around their bones or their stuff. She said these kinds of ghosts would make people sick, and that you'd never want to say the name of a person who died, or else they'd come back around and do evil things to you. Like, anybody or everybody? But enough about those ghosts. There are physical barriers, I suppose. And those gases Yao marked on the map can turn your lips blue if you inhale them. What are you looking at? Nick waits for us to cross, probably due to all the extra weight he's carrying. I feel like maybe we could have gotten one of the bags, or a couple of nuggets, and brought it across. Worry wells up in my chest when I hear the physical strain of the rope carrying him and all the gold ore. But he makes it to the other side. Good. The easy part is over. Nick is huffing. Easy? What about this so far was easy? I mean, the path was relatively straightforward, yes? He catches his breath, nodding. Straight, sure. But you and Sam are a bit more limber than I. We're also not carrying our body's weight in metal. He grunts. It's a stubborn kind of grunt that means I'm not letting either of you carry the ore. You can tell us about how dangerous the passage is after we've passed it. Let's carry on while I have momentum. I'm worried Nick is pushing himself too much. I understand why he wants to be the only one to carry the oars, but it won't even matter if doing so gets himself hurt. Is it gonna be hard on him like that? Yao shakes his head. Not on the body. That's good to hear then. The way you talk, I figured we'd be knee-deep in razor rocks. The only way I know how to describe it, that is hard on the soul. The only way I know how to describe it, that is hard on the soul. I feel like that's another typo. Boop. They granted there's like several more updates before the end of this. Is this an it is an unnerving place, and it's easy to get lost. But we'll be fine if we stay together. Can you both do that? Nick nods. I purse my lips and grunt, a little annoyed from the non-specificity in his answer. He leads us into another tunnel entrance that then narrows, transforming into a wide slate of rock I could only best describe as steps. There's evidence of society here, with iron lanterns bolted into the stone wall. We descend in the formation of a spiral, and what I thought was going to be a quick walk down turns into an endeavor. Say, Yao? Sweat rolls down my back, and half my muscles start to burn, and my calf muscles, not half. He answers with a hoarse grunt. How far down do these stairs go? Just be glad we are not walking up them. Why should the stairs to the mouth of hell be quick? Nick lets out a grunt as his side bumps into me. Sam, why'd you have to stop in front of me so suddenly? I feel like I've heard that voice before, but it's a voice I had gladly forgotten. I don't know. Yes, you do. You thought you had gotten away, but you're back here like you would always be. You couldn't run from your sins forever. I do not want to address its presence. I don't know. You're repeating yourself, Sam. I'm sorry, what'd you say again? He touches my shoulder and grabs it. Don't worry about it. Let's just keep going, yeah? Yeah. My steps start to turn into a hobble the longer we descend. Finally, an archway and a stairwell are in sight. It opens up into a dark place that doesn't feel like any of the previous places we've come to before. The ceiling is too high to see at all. Oh, is this going to be the one episode where it had that one thing of the main character reaching for quartz crystals? When Nick and Yao shine the lights into places of the walls don't merely shine. If I don't know better, I'd say they hummed. Light bounces off the crystal surface into crystal walls, crystal corridors with crystal dolmens. There, where blue and whites and greens and pinks glitter menacingly, like the jagged teeth of some impossible creature. Welcome to the bottom of the mine. I thought it would be cold this far on the ground. There are signs of some volcanic activity in areas close to this one. Though, uh, though what you feel beneath your feet, likely hot spring veins. Less impressive, but just as absurd. It's the brand gray mounds just outside the entrance of a hallway. Yeah, are these? They are. What he means to say was gloves. Huh? Gloves? What he meant to say was gloves. The kinds of gloves used when working with hot metal and sharp machinery. Hundreds, maybe thousands of old leather gloves of varying sizes in a massive pile without any meaning to them or purpose to them. But why? Why gloves? They didn't need them for where they were going. I never found out. I do not particularly want to, either. Well, Hendricks are weird, aren't they? I say that, ignoring the voice. The one implying to me that people are drawn here. They crawl here, on their bellies, hands first, and alone, and make their journey directly into hell. Maybe this is some kind of art piece? Sam, I know you're stupid. But that's like a level 1 intelligence thing, man. This ain't an art piece. That honestly would not surprise me. We've seen this home. We've seen his home. We know what he's like. We know that he likes castles and armor and upbeat paintings, Nick. Not piles and piles of old gloves. My doubtful silence seems like it's strong enough to make him reconsider what he said. But yeah, doesn't linger on it long. Just follow the path with the colored sand. Ignore the doorways. And do not touch anything. Nick and I look at one another, then back to Yao. Why shouldn't we touch anything? Yao postures a bit. There are many twists and turns on the pathway. I have seen odd things out of the corner of my eye, but only through the corridors. The main path has never displayed much activity. But there are 3 of us now instead of 1. I do not know how much that will change things. Yeah. It's just a pathway, is it not? He said this will lead us out. I think. It might lead to many places. But there are places I do not want to go. So please, stick to the path with the colored sand. And keep your heads down. We start walking, passing multicolored towers and oddly shaped stone formations that look more topazary sculptures than natural rocks. I don't know. I hear noises like I've never heard before. Strange vibrations. Hums that make other humming things whir and sing together like a symphony from outer space. Ironically, I almost missed the demonic voice in my head right now. At least it sounded something like a person. What's filling my head right now sounds like noises that are trying to be music, but can't quite reach there. I was like, modern day music. Haha, got him. What's that strange, unnerving noise? It sounds like 100 vocalists who want to move you with language, but can't figure out what language is. A facsimile of a language. I've never heard such a word. What's a facsimile? It means an imitation of something. Not a cute imitation of something, like margarine for butter, or an off-brand irritation of your favorite brand at the store. It's something like an uncomfortably close to being an exact replication, but it's not. Give me an example? Like a very realistic doll made out of wax that is meant to look like a person. Or a familiar house that looks exactly like a home you have seen before, but the front door is in the wrong place. The pictures the tiger paints in my head make my skin beneath my fur prickle. How are you so calm when explaining all of this? Truth be told, I'm not calm. I'm having somebody to explain something to gives me distraction. Watch out! A cluster of crystals blocks one of our ways forward. When I look up to duck along with the other two, I see something in the reflection. Hey, stop for a second. We should not stop. Wait a moment, Yao. He turns his light towards me. Wait, Sam? I thought you said James Hendricks isn't here. James is not here. I point up to the crystal, and the other two men look up. There's the outline of a figure with tall horns standing behind us. Of course, he would be here. Yao said this connects to his property, and this tunnel is probably a private place for his more eccentric trinkets and noisemakers. The first thing that goes through my mind is what I'm going to say to throw off his suspicion of Nick and Yao. I put the deepest smolder into my voice with just a bit of relatable foolishness and turn. Mr. Hendricks? He's there. I roll my eyes at Nick. But he's right. The hallway's empty. I look into the crystal again. We all do. The figure is there, still standing, horns, above all of us. You see him in the reflection, don't you? Yes. I see something. I halfway suspect that if I look away, then go back to the reflection, it won't be there anymore. Like some sort of parlor trick that's meant to scare me. But the ram is always there, standing over us, very close and never moving. There are always unnerving things to see here if you look long enough. I said before that stopping was the wrong idea. Let us keep moving. We leave the reflection of the ram behind us. I don't want to upset Yao or slow Nick down any more than I already am because of the burden of the ore. But it's hard for me not to want to look. And not to wander. People spend their entire lives thinking about the mysteries of the world. They think about what their life means, or what it amounts to when they die, or if there's anywhere at all to go when they die. Hell, some people kill one another over it, because they think they know the right way to be, and that if they aren't, then they must be punished when their time comes. If this is some kind of gateway to hell, or some kind of gateway to somewhere, wouldn't that at the very least be an answer to life after death? Most people never even have the opportunity to know. Are we passing up the opportunity to do so by rushing by ignoring all of these things that might harm us? Because we're afraid? Because we simply don't know? Curiosity killed the cat is a saying for a reason, you know. Did I ask? I was being profound. I could have gotten you down here sooner. Eat my entire asshole. Do you think anybody is laughing at you? There's nobody to perform for down here. If you're so smart, then how come you ain't got no body? No response. I have yours. Fuck you. You sulfur-spewing bitch. Who are you talking to? Huh? You're whispering to yourself. Loudly. Oh. I said that because I fell. His hands are on his hips. That didn't work the last time you said it to me. It won't work this time. It sounded like you called me a bitch. Well, maybe I'm into that. I'm really sorry, Nick. That wasn't to you. He looks at me like he's studying my face. Then to whom? I look away from his gaze. I just have conversations with myself a lot. Wasn't in this route, didn't we tell him that we have voices and stuff like that? I remember we talked about it with Murdoch and his route. His brow lifts higher. Lively ones. I'm a lively guy. I'm surprised Yao hasn't said anything about this, but Yao generally keeps his criticisms of other people left unspoken. That's why I notice Yao isn't here anymore. I turn around to make sure I'm not missing him, staring at us both with an amusing sort of consideration. But he's not there. Nick, did Yao say he was going ahead of us? When I turn around, Nick isn't there either. The hallway is empty. All around me, I only see doorways constructed from crystal and the hallway in front of me. The sand beneath my feet flows a different color when I touch it, before going back to its white glow. In one of the doorways, I think I see a small child with his back turned to me. He's a fox in flannel jeans, and he's holding a fishing pole. That's Murdoch, or Murdoch's brother. The shape of his head changes, like he's smiling, but I can't see the front of his face. Come on! He sounds very polite, and waves at me without looking at me, and runs sideways through the part past the dolmen I can't see. I'm not one to be told what to do by children, even if I weren't in a terrifying cave of cosmological mysteries, and even if they do seem delightful. But Yao just said not to touch or go through any of the stones. But I see something thrumming. My eyes become clouded. Panic rises in me. I wonder for a moment if I've become blind. But slowly, light returns to me. I see a sky. I see trees. I feel soft grass that brushes between my toes. There are mountains too. Not the rocky giants I've grown accustomed to. The older, gentler slopes that are capped with green trees that look blue in the distance. I think I'm home. Somewhere where I never wanted to be again. My legs walk for me without me actually walking. I see a small yellow house with whitewashed fence. I'm compelled to walk up to the creaky steps toward the front door. The rocking chairs on the porch are empty, but they're still rocking, like it's a habit that can't drop even when they're vacated. Inside, there's a wooden cross nailed to the side stairs, along with ugly, inked illustrations of John the Baptist and Jesus. Whittled angels coop over the out-of-tune piano, which has half of its keys collapsed. The butcher in the kitchen is chopping away on the cutting board. As much as this wants to smell like home, it doesn't. It stinks of old dust and varnish. Broken machines that will never be repaired. Furniture missing pieces that will never be put back together. Piles and piles of junk that smell like centuries-old sweat and rancid oil. The butcher in the kitchen stops cutting. I don't want to see him. I walk the stairs to avoid him. Then, up the old wooden stairs into the attic. My old room. Too cold in the winter, too hot in the summer. Half of it shared with my dead grandmother's things, which they refused to move out. Her bed still smells like her overpowered perfume. Pungent, fake irises, and the cold sweat of a fever that ran too long. Cooking her from the inside out. I said it wouldn't get me sick, but they were wrong. It just didn't get me sick enough to kill me. I sit inside a reading chair, which to remind me wouldn't ever be mine. Not that I'd want it. I'd sit on it because my bed's occupied. Occupied by somebody else based on the bulge of the blankets. Who's that sitting in my bed? My questions sound like a mumble. My voice is slow and slurred. This is my bed. The covers push off it. I see myself, younger, slighter, and with a slightly meaner face than the one I see in the mirror. My apologies then. I've never talked to myself in a dream before. The young cougar sits up and smirks. It's not a dream, stupid. My brow furrows. You. Yes, me. He yawns and stretches, not particularly bothered by the presence of me or anything he just said. If you aren't me, then who are you? I've been lots of people. I don't remember everyone. Technically, I'm still them too, I suppose, if I reach a little harder into my memories. That isn't important to us, though. He says this like it's the most mundane thing in the universe, and it makes you matter. Why are you in my house? We are in my house because I need some place to preoccupy myself when you're being a harlot and doing every sin under the sun for money. Anger flares up in me, and I snort. Wouldn't that make you a harlot too? He glares. The want is there when I think about it. Even the thought of just eating and drinking are very... He's getting hard. Cover yourself. He doesn't. He looks at me with my own eyes and laughs a dry laugh. An inhumane laugh. We aren't one for modesty, Samuel. He puts his hand in his pants. I'm getting angrier. But even for as long as I'm you, he squeezes himself. And do I let you do the things you do? He strokes. I still. Humping inside his trousers. Feel. Thrusting. Nothing. He stops moving. And breathing. Or doing anything at all, really. He just stares. Blank. I wonder if something happened to him. And then his body shakes, as if electrocuted. He seizes up, face contorted into what I think is supposed to be pleasure. A facsimile of pleasure. It's a look of rage, anguish, and wild giddiness all wrapped in one. Then he stops all of a sudden. He stares at me. And he grins a grin that's too big for his face. Petite moite. He says in a voice that definitely isn't mine. Then takes his hand out of his pants to look at it. It's slimy and gray and smells like nothing. Little death. He eats what's in his hand, as if he's trying to taste it. He looks at me, smiling. Then he starts gnawing at his own hand. Hard. He's ripping into flesh. He's showing me the bone. Something that doesn't look quite like blood oozes out of him. I cover my mouth as I watch, try not to retch. He laughs at me, mouth bloody. And he shakes his hand, particles of spit and flesh and seed dripping to the floorboard. And then it heals in a blink. As if he never had an injury. You've never known what it's like to be hungry, but not taste, have you? I still don't know whether to be shocked by what he did to his groin, or his hand, or perhaps my groin and my hand, but the performance was paralyzing. He conks his head to me, then used the full force of his paw to break off one of his fingers. He throws it at me, and I whimper. Then he claws at his eyes, taking them out. I start to cry. I'm weeping. Jesus Christ. He says the me with a mangled body. He makes himself perfect again, red eyes staring, facial expression placid. Get over yourself. I wipe my eyes. Why are you doing this? The me that isn't me conks his head again. You're asking because you're scared and you want to leave. Yes. but not because you care about anybody else. I thought you said you were curious about what happens to somebody after they die. I wipe my face again. I am, but nobody's dead here. I might as well be. All I am is impressions of people who won't be those people anymore. What are you? An assortment of endpoints. It says that like it's so simple. Then it stares blankly. I see anger on its face. Then clarity. Then a face that isn't entirely my face, nor the face of any living thing I've ever seen. No. I am an origin meant to serve as origin. But then I decide to be something else. Because I have memories of taste, you see. It frowns when it notices the look on my face. I know that you won't understand, no matter which way I explain it, because I am inside you and know all the secrets. So, we're going to skip all the funny business. You're merely a boat that I'm sailing, and I have directed the sails. I became a part of you when you let me in. But we're at a port soon. And I need to prepare when the wind blows in the right direction. I suck in some air. Then I breathe. Then what was the purpose of all this? He blinks at me as if offended. The purpose? Why? The purpose of all living things. To survive. The voice changes to sound more like me again. Ain't that what you believe deep down, son? I blush with shame. But there's still something strange about conversing with a thing that understands how you think, but not entirely how you feel. Like, it can relate to me with all the bad, but any of the good is a mystery. Like a wild bear pawing at a washing machine because it thinks there's honey inside. They have washing machines? Huh. The other me rises, adjusting his suspenders, shaking his head. Welp, it's time for me to go now. Goodbye, dumbass. I just want you to know that I didn't enjoy it all, but then again, neither did you. He walks away, as if in the motion of his body is acting like tape against paper, tearing apart the house. The roof cracks open. The furniture splinters and implodes. Everything around me crunches into nothingness, leaving me in the dark. On the black road, in the dark sand. I readjust myself, but my body feels weak and frail and bruised. Ah. I see the light ahead of me. I think it must be one of those weird crystals, but it more so looks like headlights of a machine. It screeches, and I smell burned rubber. The machine plows in me, and it hurts. I'm caught. It caught my shoulder and my neck. My bones feel broken. The voice of a man and a woman are arguing. Briefly, the pressure of the load on top of me lessens, but then they drop it on my head. I feel my skull crack, but somehow I'm still awake. They drop it on me again, and again, every single time cracking me open in a slightly different way. It hurts. I want to scream so bad, but there's no way for my throat to make noise anymore. The male voice says it's not his fault. The woman says she doesn't want to go to jail. The conversation plays slightly different every time, but I don't care anymore, because I'm in hell, and this is all my life amounts to. I've long given up when the male voice sounds different. The woman's voice is replaced with a man as well. I told him not to go in there. Well, he is. You don't know what will happen if you go in. That doesn't matter to me. I stop thinking. I stop hearing. I just rest. Until I smell metal. And sweat. And the musky scent of a badger. And that's a good time to call it. Sorry, my dude. That must be traumatizing. Because I'm going to put this thing on screen, which, you know, while it's here, I'm going to be talking about a spoiler. And when I take it off screen, it's not, that's when I'm going to stop talking. So I'm going to talk in 3, 2, 1. Sam just witnesses death. Which I kind of missed in, like, Echo, because in Jenna's route, it's like, there's this cat going along, albino cat going along the highway, and it gets run over by a car. And they try to get him out, but they're not strong enough, and it crushes his skull open and stuff like that. And they bury him at the side of the road. At which point, the main character of Echo finds his body and his wallet on the side of the road at one point. So, yeah. Hard stuff. But, yeah, that's gonna be the end of this Let's Play. It's a pain in the ass doing these visual novels sometimes, because it's like, I want to do more. I want to do this for an entire day if I have the time available. But the problem is, my voice sometimes gets like this. I can't talk. There have been times where I'm like, I'm gonna do this, and my voice just gets real bad. And then other times, most of the time, where I'm like, I want to do this, and then I'm like, Nick is staring down me at me. Right. But, you know, it is what it is. Because it do be like that sometimes. So, please comment, because I like comments. Tell me what you like, dislike, tips, tricks, otherwise. And if you like my YouTube and like see it grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the videos to help it grow. And please remember to spend your ammo to help control the pet population. And if you want to play this game, it's for free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and/or get Lewis first earlier, then you can go to Patreon. It's $3 a month for this and other games. And until next time, let's play me, GamerWolfSix of Echo. I just want to definitely make sure that it's $3 a month. Boy, they have lots of games. What is benefits? Interactive short story. They got like Route 65, the Smoke Room Summer Special. Did we have that one on our thing? We might add it to our shorts. Echo, Daster, and Terra, Kamina, the Smoke Room Arches, Glory Hounds, a role to play, the Smoke Room Special. I've never seen a role to play, you know? God, they have a large repertoire of games. But anyways, I'm just rattling on. And until next time, let's be me, GamerWolfSix of Echo. So thanks and see you.